At our baby cousin's birthday party, my sister caused a scene by declaring that his mother didn't care about him, leading her boyfriend to end their relationship right there. What followed was a year of chaos as she wreaked havoc on our family through identity theft and online harassment. My older sister, Vanessa, always believed she was the epitome of truthfulness. During family dinners, she'd launch into critiques about everyone's weight or appearance, dissecting their looks with brutal comments. None of us would engage, but if we dared to push back, she'd claim she was just keeping it real. Once, she told me my complexion was worse than a roach being crushed in someone's mouth. I just shrugged it off. Her behavior was nothing new, and we'd grown accustomed to her nonsense. Honestly, I was relieved when we decided to exclude her from future family gatherings. But my aunt, ever hopeful, insisted on inviting her, believing she'd eventually mature. How mistaken she was. For our cousin's next birthday, Vanessa texted our family group chat, asking to bring her boyfriend Ethan to meet us. Given her track record, I assumed he'd be just as bad. I was ready to flat out deny her request, but before I could respond, the family, always warm and welcoming, agreed to let her come. I shook my head in frustration. Ethan seemed decent at first, the kind of guy who'd pet the family dog before saying hello to anyone. He held doors open for everyone, polite to a fault. But I stayed wary. The birthday boy, Timmy, was the cutest, dressed in a tiny blue outfit covered in balloon patterns. He was all smiles, craving hugs and giggling through games of peekaboo. Our entire family showed up, uncles, boisterous aunts, even my estranged parents, all there for Timmy. The party was at one of those all-in-one kids venues with arcade games, bowling, laser tag, and a ball pit. Somehow, Vanessa had smuggled in alcohol. We were eating cheap, plasticky pizza when it became clear she was drunk. Everyone noticed, the stench of liquor on her breath, and her loud rants about her own authenticity and why our cousin was wasting her life at a local college. She sat next to Ethan, who perched awkwardly in a small orange chair, as she boasted about her realness. I was thrilled when the birthday cake arrived, thinking it would shut her up, or so I hoped. We gathered around, singing to Timmy, who clapped his little hands with joy. My aunt presented a charming dinosaur cake from the supermarket. But as soon as the song ended, Vanessa stood, wobbling, to give a so-called toast. "This is the best you could do? A store-bought cake? Do you even care about him?" she slurred, waving her red cup. "And these decorations? Straight out of a bargain bin. If you're going to have a kid, at least try." The room froze. Parents exchanged stunned looks. Kids stopped chewing their pizza. My aunt's face flushed. Vanessa kept going. "I'm just saying what's true. Ever heard of Pinterest? This is pathetic." Then Timmy burst into tears, his little heart shattered. "Auntie Vanessa says Mommy's cake is bad," he wailed. "Mommy, why didn't you try harder?" Ethan shot up, his chair toppling. "Vanessa, give me my things. We're done." She laughed, unsteady. "What? No way, I haven't even had cake." "There's no we anymore," he snapped, facing her. "You just ruined a 5-year-old's party. What kind of person does that?" My uncle muttered. "Wow," under his breath. My cousin started recording on her phone. Vanessa's jaw dropped. "Babe, I was just trying to help. Kids need to know about standards," she said. "Standards?" Ethan's voice broke. "He's 5. He thinks his mom is everything, and you just told him she doesn't love him enough." The room watched, riveted, as my aunt comforted Timmy, his dinosaur shirt soaked with tears. "You're breaking up with me? Here? Over this?" Vanessa's voice grew shrill. Ethan walked to my aunt, handed her a $500 bill, and said, "For the party. I'm sorry we messed it up." Then he turned to Vanessa. "Get your own ride home, and lose my number." He stormed toward the exit. Vanessa stood stunned for a moment before chasing after him, heels clacking on the arcade floor, shouting about him overreacting. My dad muttered, "Good riddance." Timmy, sniffling, asked, "Is the mean lady gone?" She was, and we thought that was the end of it. A week later, my aunt got a knock at her door. It wasn't Vanessa, it was Child Protective Services. Someone had anonymously reported alcohol being served to kids at the party and accused my aunt of neglect. The CPS worker arrived at 8 a.m., clipboard in hand, asking about supervision and alcohol. My aunt, sobbing, explained it was Vanessa who brought the booze, showing receipts to prove the venue was alcohol-free. The worker remained stone-faced, demanding contact info for every guest. She said she'd verify the story. 2 days later, I got a call at work. The investigator asked me to recount the party. I told her how Vanessa snuck in alcohol, upset Timmy, and got dumped by Ethan. I swore my aunt was a great mom, always watching the kids. The investigator thanked me and hung up. But it didn't stop there. My aunt endured 3 more CPS home visits. They inspected her fridge, Timmy's room, even interviewed him alone, which terrified her. He kept asking if he was in trouble for crying. She had to attend parenting classes every Saturday for 6 weeks, costing $50 each plus gas, all because of that anonymous tip. We knew it was Vanessa. Only she'd know those party details, but we couldn't prove it. CPS wouldn't reveal the tipster. We shared screenshots of Vanessa's unhinged texts in a new group chat without her, where she'd play victim 1 minute and threaten us the next. Then Ethan messaged me on Facebook. He apologized, feeling guilty for bringing Vanessa into our lives. She'd been bombarding him with texts from new numbers, first begging for reconciliation, then claiming she was pregnant. He knew it was a lie. The timeline didn't add up, and she sent fake ultrasound images from a 2015 blog. He was considering a restraining order. I told him it wasn't his fault and to let us know if we needed his help with CPS. Things got stranger. My cousin Lisa started getting messages from her own Instagram account, but she wasn't sending them. A fake profile using her photos was spreading lies about family members, claiming our grandma was senile, our uncle was unfaithful, or our cousin was flunking college due to drugs. Lisa spent hours reporting the account, but Instagram did nothing. Friends stopped talking to her, confused by the drama. Then my uncle found a fake Facebook profile in his name, posting inflammatory comments in local groups. His job called him in to explain. He spent hours proving it wasn't him. We knew Vanessa was behind it. The accounts used photos from family events only she'd have. But the platforms ignored our complaints. The worst was a fake profile of my mom commenting cruelly on her friends' posts. Mom lost friendships before she could explain. She came home from the grocery store crying after a friend confronted her. Dad started a spreadsheet, documenting every incident with screenshots and dates, printing everything for potential legal use. Then Vanessa showed up at Timmy's daycare, claiming to be his aunt with his full details. The staff, warned about her, refused to release him. She caused a scene, yelling about her rights and waving family photos as proof. She fled before police arrived, leaving tire marks. My aunt, shaken, had to leave work to get Timmy. Her boss was growing frustrated with the constant disruptions. At a family meeting, we debated solutions. Some wanted to block Vanessa entirely. Others suggested retaliating with fake accounts. Dad urged us to stay calm and keep documenting. My aunt looked exhausted, her promotion at work now at risk due to anonymous emails calling her an alcoholic. She had to prove her innocence to HR, delaying her career. Ethan sent more screenshots. Vanessa now demanded $3,000 for baby expenses she never incurred. She'd bragged to him before about sabotaging co-workers and friends, even getting a roommate evicted over yogurt. Dad added these to his growing binder, hoping to show a pattern if we pursued legal action. Then my car tires were slashed. Clean cuts, costing $600 to replace. The security camera was conveniently broken. My cousin Brian got a false report about subletting, forcing a landlord inspection. Fake accounts kept multiplying, targeting distant relatives with lies. My great-aunt got a message from a fake account claiming mom needed money. We spent hours explaining the situation to confused relatives. Grandma's 80th birthday was approaching, a big event we'd planned for months. Then roses arrived at her house with a card from Vanessa. Grandma cried, fearing drama at her party. We couldn't hire security for a birthday, so we planned to have cousins watch the door discreetly. Ethan offered to monitor the parking lot. Small items started vanishing from our homes. Chargers, mugs, a sweater. My cousin's spare key disappeared and her lock showed unusual wear. I installed a cheap camera in my apartment, hoping to catch myself misplacing things. Instead, I caught Vanessa breaking in, stealing forks and a family photo while sipping my soda. Police said the video wasn't enough to prosecute without more evidence. Her alibi was a job interview with paperwork. We realized Vanessa was using our shared Google Calendar to track our schedules. We removed her access, but she'd already mapped our routines. Ethan reported her showing up at his school, pretending they were still together, and threatening lawsuits for emotional distress. Hang-up calls plagued the daycare, and fake complaints hit mom's job again. Letters arrived at relatives' homes with cruel captions on family photos, designed to spark fights. Old tensions flared as some believed the lies. My aunt's daycare lost clients over safety concerns. I locked my mailbox, and Dad's binder grew to 3 volumes. 3 days before Grandma's party, we met to plan. Grandma refused security but agreed to cousins at the door. The gift table held a silver-wrapped present from Vanessa, a photo album with scratched-out faces and vicious comments. We trashed it, not telling Grandma. At the party, Vanessa arrived, smiling and carrying a gift bag. Ethan intercepted her, blocking her path. She grew loud, claiming her right to be there. Grandma, heartbroken, asked her to leave. Vanessa ranted about favoritism, waving annotated papers. When she lunged for the cake, cousins restrained her. Ethan called 911, and she fled, toppling flowers. Grandma sobbed, but my uncle rallied everyone to dance to her favorite song. The party recovered, though the tension lingered. We found a tiny recorder under a table, explaining Vanessa's uncanny timing. Ethan recorded her outburst for evidence. The next day, Vanessa was arrested, not for the party, but for threatening a politician online. The FBI linked her to hundreds of fake accounts targeting us and others. CPS dropped my aunt's case, and life slowly normalized. Fake accounts stopped, and we relaxed. Ethan started dating my friend Lisa, fitting seamlessly into our family. Vanessa took a plea deal for 5 to 7 years in prison. Grandma wrote her a letter hoping she'd find help. We wrote victim impact statements, and the sentencing was quiet. No outbursts. Thanksgiving was peaceful, with Vanessa's absence felt but unspoken. Timmy's next birthday was perfect, with a homemade T-Rex cake. We're stronger now, bonded by surviving her chaos. Vanessa's in therapy in prison, but we don't dwell on her. We're focused on new memories, happy ones, like Grandma's 81st and Timmy's joyful parties. Boring is good. It's what we needed.